states.
Okay, joining me right now in New York here is filmmaker and political activist Michael Maher. Joining me right now by phone is Bill Maher, the host of HBO's Real Time. I'm going to go to Bill Maher right now. Bill, the speech tonight, what did you make of it?
Well, I loved it, Chris.
You joked.
Well, you know, it's teleprompter Trump. There's two Trumps. I mean, every president, to a degree, talks out of two sides of their mouths, but this guy is on a level beyond what anybody's seen. You know, it doesn't. The teleprompter Trump doesn't really match the off-the-cuff Trump and what they're doing legislatively, which is where the action is. What have they done? They passed one law that said oil companies could take bribes overseas, and another one that said coal companies could dump their crap in the river. Other than that, I don't know how this helps the little guy that he keeps talking about.
Well, what did you make of it? You know, they put out the word today from the White House at that little get-together with anchors. I wasn't invited this year. Well, I didn't surprise me with that one, but they talked about they're going to actually let illegal immigrants or people here without documentation left alone if they're clean citizens. In other words, they act like good Americans. They can stay legally if they don't get citizenship. And tonight, everybody's waiting for him to do that, having teased it all day and let it be teased. He didn't do nothing. He didn't say anything that was going to compromise on immigration.
Well, he probably didn't want to lose his base. Look, I don't know who writes these speeches. You know, first of all, usually when he's talking off the teleprompter, you can tell he's never read the speech before, because he'll get to the end of a line and go, so true. So true. Whoever wrote this, I mean me.
Yeah.
It's crazy. This time he actually looked like a president because he was pretty practiced at it. You saw him in the car.
Yeah.
You know, I think the bad part of this is that it will fool a lot of people. If you knew nothing about Donald Trump before this and you just watch this, you would say, oh, well, there's a Republican president. I may not agree with everything, but it looks like a fairly reasonable guy. He's too right-wing for me, but he's a normal person. The problem with this administration isn't the policy. I mean, that is the problem, but we've had bad policy before. It's the personality, Chris. This is what worries me, and I think most Americans, is that you can't have somebody who is diagnosable like this guy with the narcissism and all the rest of it and think that it's going to come out well for us. Somebody who sees things that aren't there. When you have press spokesmen saying things like, this is what the president believes, like, you're on your own. We're living in cuckoo cloud land. This is what he believes. And we see that he doesn't know anything. He said the other day that he's just finding out that health care is difficult.
Yeah, it's complicated. You know, there's something tonight I mean, I know you're not that sentimental, but I was taken with the widow, certainly Karen Owens tonight. And everything was going well, and the people were reacting, and she was in her private moment there. And I thought, and then Trump had to start talking about the number of minutes of applause and doing the applause meter on it. I just thought that was, well, what do you think of that? Wasn't that a bit grotesque? I thought.
Yeah, and I'm not also crazy about the response to that, because, like, it was such a great moment. First of all, I wish she hadn't allowed herself to be used as his prop like that.
Yeah.
And I don't see any great courage here. Where's the courage? Who wouldn't stand and applaud for a war widow?
Yeah.
You know, it's all very well and good to elect this guy who's going to be the bull in the china shop, until people realize and find out, and it's not going to happen for a year or more, that, you know, the China being broken is your China. You losing your health care, your coal job not coming back.
Yeah.
You know, things are going to happen. They're already happening that actually hurt people. It's all fun and games when you're on the campaign trail and you're arousing the bad side of people and the hate radio kind of stuff. But now it's actually happening in America. People are actually being hurt. They're being detained at the borders. Families are being separated. Rivers are being polluted. I mean, the bad stuff is really going on. He's, by the way, I wrote this down. Education is the civil rights issue of our time. And then Betsy DeVos is I mean, this is what people are going to be talking about tomorrow, the disconnect between the rhetoric and the reality.
Well, Democrats were mostly respectful tonight of the president's speech. There was no booing. Nobody said you lied. The Republicans did that to Obama. For them, there was audible laughter, however, when Trump mentioned his pledge to, here's his phrase, drain the swamp.
We have begun to drain the swamp of government corruption by imposing a 5-year ban on lobbying by executive branch officials.
What you make of that during this time? We got billionaires, we got Wall Street representatives. I'm not sure. I don't know what was the swamp and what was drained.
Well, again, this is the problem, is that his fans don't, of course, they even believe in facts mostly, but they certainly don't fact-check it. So if all they're going by is what he says, yeah, maybe they'll buy that. They don't. I don't think they follow it closely enough, perhaps, to realize that he appointed this cabinet from opposite world, where the labor person wants to keep wages low, and the health person wants to get rid of public health care, and the Justice Department doesn't believe in civil rights, and the EPA is going to replace the environment with something terrific. This, again, I noted from the beginning, from not just the campaign, but the inaugural speech, where I will be your voice, all this talk about the forgotten little man. Tell me one thing he's done that helps the forgotten little man.
Well, we'll have to wait and see, as they say in journalism. By the way, the one thing that amazes me is he came out this week, this is our business, coming out against unnamed sources. And here's the guy that ran around the country for 5 years saying he has these inspectors out in Hawaii that have come up with fascinating stuff about how President Obama was an illegal immigrant. All these unnamed sources that he was using for all those years about this information that he was paying for to dig up, all malarkey, as Joe Biden would say, all made up. There were no inspectors. There were no unnamed sources. There was nobody. And then he says the New York Times uses unnamed sources out of the White House.
Well, you know, he loves leaks when it helps him.
Yeah.
He loved, you know, he hated WikiLeaks, and he thought Snowden and Assange were traitors until it helped him, because he has no principles. It only is if you're on my side, if you say nice things about me, I love you, and if you criticize me, I'll do everything I can to destroy you. I think people are always overthinking Donald Trump. I think it's that simple.
Yeah.
Putin said he was brilliant, so he forever wants to be Putin's best friend. The white supremacists, you know, I don't think Donald Trump is a white supremacist exactly, but the white supremacists said nice things about him. They're his fans, so he constitutionally cannot really say anything bad about white supremacists. You have to drag it out of him to go, oh, I disavow. Again, the problem is personality, not policy so much.
He loves being loved, doesn't he? He just loves being loved. Hey, Bill Maher.
Love, that doesn't even begin to cover it. It's a neediness. It's like having Joan Crawford as president.
Bill Maher, by the way, your show's unbelievable. Every time you let me on that show, everybody says, I saw you on Bill Maher. I don't know what people used to go out Friday night. Now they watch real time. Thank you so much.
Well, thanks, Chris.
They do.
Thanks
They watch you. Good guys, too. Good women. Thank you.